With the NBA playoffs in full swing, I thought we'd have a look at one of my favourite basketball films, Coach Carter, and the key points that coaches can take from the film and apply with their teams. So the movie follows the true story of Coach Ken Carter and the Richmond Oilers high school basketball team. He takes control of an underperforming and undisciplined team, making them sign contracts to perform academically in order to play. Putting them through their paces, the team goes on an undefeated streak until he learns that some of the players are failing classes and decides to
on the gym and force them to meet you in the library.
He then forfeits the games until the players meet the agreed standards. So the first point I want to discuss from the film is setting and enforcing expectations. The premise of the film is based on the contract that he makes the players and their parents sign.
This contract states that you will maintain a 2.3 grade point average. You will attend all your classes, and you will sit in the front row of those classes.
Now you might think that having your players sign contracts is a little bit much, but it is important to consider how clearly your players understand their expectations and boundaries.
These boys are student athletes. Student comes first.
So while he was strongly challenged by the players, their parents and the school board, Coach Carter stuck to his values and beliefs, and this undoubtedly gained him respect. The players began to learn their boundaries, and the same standards were applied to everyone. If the best player didn't accept it, well then he simply didn't play.
There goes our 2 leading scorers from last season, man.
Then I guess we'll have new leading scorers this season, huh?
One common trait I've picked up from looking at successful coaches is that they're not afraid of being fired for sticking to what they believe in.
If you vote to end the lockout, you won't have to terminate me. I'll quit.
So for the coaches out there, have a think about how clearly your expectations are set and how consistently they're applied across the whole playing group. The second point I want to discuss from the film is respect. Coach Carter demanded respect from his players towards himself, amongst each other, and towards the game.
Sir is a term of respect, and you will have my respect until you abuse it.
One scene that really illustrated the respect towards the game was when he punished his team for starting to trash talk the opposition.
Since when is winning not enough? Playing hard not enough? No. You have to humiliate your opponent. Taunt him after every score. You won 4 games last season. 4! What gives you the right to take the game that I love with trash talk and taunting? What gives you the right to wear Richmond on your chest and act like punks?
Coach, they were John too.
So? You can't show some class? Act like a champion?
I'm interested to get your thoughts on where you stand between playing the game in the right spirit and winning at all costs. My thoughts are that sledging more often than not just distracts you from what you should be focusing on. A further example of demanding respect came when Coach Carter pulls the players up for how they speak to each other.
See, that's my big nigga right there, son. Hey, if you was any bigger, you'd be my bigger nigga.
Sit down. Sit down! Nigga is a derogatory term used to insult our ancestors. See, if a white man used it, you'd be ready to fight. You're using it teaches him to use it. You're saying it's cool. Well, it's not cool. And when you're around me, I don't want to hear that shit. We clear?
Yes, sir.
This is a really strong display of leadership because it was challenging a behaviour within the team that was tolerated but shouldn't be. When I think of respect amongst playing groups, one issue that I see is a perception where the best players believe that those in lower grades need to earn their respect before they're acknowledged or welcomed in. I think it's the role of the coach to challenge this and try and create an environment where all players are treated equal and egos are left aside. The final point I want to discuss from the film is what does it mean to win? One of my favourite scenes from the film is when Coach Carter poses the question to his team of what do they want from the season.
What do you want out of this basketball season?
To win that state championship, sir.
Sir. Well, who won the state basketball championship last season, Lyle?
Hell if I know, sir.
Does anybody know?
I think it's a really important question for coaches to consider because the answer is so much deeper than what's written on the scoreboard. Are you happy to spend any amount of money buying players in order to win over developing younger or homegrown players? Is the win-loss column more important than playing the game in the right spirit? Or do you value the influence that you have on players outside of the game? Personally, I believe that the satisfaction from winning and being involved in sport comes from the people that you share it with. Thanks for watching. If you've got any thoughts on the points that we've discussed, please leave us a comment below. The next film that we're going to review is The Mighty Ducks and Coach Bombay, so tune in with us then.